Oh Jesus!
Oh God, we've been going, and we weren't even live. Oh my God!
How is that possible? You had the countdown and everything.
We had the countdown, and I hit the button. I swear.
It countdowned and everything.
Meanwhile, MK's like, "Where the hell are you guys?" And we're cracking jokes and bringing MK into it. Like, yeah, this is a great show.
Oh,
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Nerd Den.
Oh my God!
We've been talking to ourselves for the last half hour.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Andrew's in studio with us. You want to do the? Wait, hold on. We can do the lame joke again. We'll just start over. Hold on. Let's do this. We'll move over here. Andrew, go for it. So sorry, MK, dude.
Finally. We literally have done half the show.
We've done half the show.
We've done half the show.
Okay, so Andrew, how was your?
Oh my God!
We need to get to the bottom of who's responsible.
No, it's me. It's okay. So
Me.
it's okay. To be fair, MK, I thought when you said cough, Andrew was referring to the bathroom as the little boys' room, and so you missed a gripping discussion.
Guys, I'm a one-trick pony. I don't know if I could do that all
No,
over
just
again.
do it one more time because it is important, and I know MK is going to dig this. Like, just pull up just show the comics. Show not these. Show the graded.
Oh God!
Well, I'll tell them what we're doing, and we'll go through.
We'll just go through it quick.
You want to show your book first?
Sure. We'll just start over. We'll do the whole fucking show again. This is fine.
Too bad you weren't recording.
Andrew, actually, before you do anything, poke Todd. That was funny. There you go.
Okay, it's the boop sound is a little weird.
You gotta boop him on the nose. Be like, boop.
Don't boop me on the nose. Get your hand away from me. Weird son of a bitch. Okay, so one of the things I picked up a bunch of 50-cent books because Andrew's Lord legend of finding deals at conventions. Like if you're ever at a con with that dude, like just go with him. Go to the 50-cent bins. He's got a stack about that, like an arm length deep. I got about half a box of comics for like $20. They're good stuff too. But the one thing that I did a little splurge on is this is 7-2 in Eternity. Jerome Opeña, who is really freaking talented. This guy's great. And this is issues 1 to 17. It's the full run, and it's a big boy. It's pretty thick. So I'm stoked about that. And then yeah, there's more tomorrow for sure. And then Andrew was going through some of his graded books that he got. I don't know if you want to just briefly show them again, or
sure.
Right.
I'll tell the story all over.
All right,
again.
let's go. Let's do it.
So when we first get to the show, we're looking for cheap books. We found the 50-cent bins, the dollar bins, but on our way out, we were looking at graded books. We were having a really good time finding some really awesome graded books. But on our way out, we saw a guy who had a display, 2 boxes, where it was $35 each, buy 3, get 1 free. Now, if anybody's ever graded books, you know that the bare minimum cost to get a book graded is $25. That's just the grading fee, okay? Then you have to add in the shipping, and you have to add in the insurance, the shipping there, the shipping back, and so forth. So $35 is not an unreasonable amount to pay for a graded book. It's really almost the bare minimum. And to get an opportunity to get 4 books for the price of 3, hot damn. Both Todd and I just jumped in and started digging through. And we found a couple, and I was very happy with what I got. So let's start again. And
MK says boxed graphic novel. No, it's not a box. It's just a huge graphic novel. Like it's just really thick.
Yeah.
So the 7-2.
That's what she said.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. First one I got. I didn't realize.
Why are we?
I didn't realize. Did you think I was going to change?
No.
Between cut 1 and cut 2?
Yeah, you really. It's fair enough. Andrew's in rare form, everybody.
The first book I picked up.
A round form.
Very round. I'm full. Dinner was great. So the first book I picked up was a modern
God,
book. I originally thought it was Green Goblin, but it actually wasn't. It was Golden Goblin. It's one of the new series that have come out. This is issue number 1. This is the variant edition, the Chiquetto.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at that cover. Is that not fantastic? And it was a 9.8, which I mean, that's kind of the highest grade you can get. I mean, there are 10s out there and 9.9s, but the highest grade you're gonna generally get is a 9.8.
Yeah, MK 9.8, pretty awesome.
Just fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
All right, next one is Masters of the Universe number 3 from DC Comics. DC did a 3-issue limited series back in 1983. And this is issue number 3. It's graded at an 8.0. So it's a nice, decent copy. And this is one that I almost am tempted to crack open and press it and see if I can get a higher grade.
Wait, you're thinking about doing that one and the other one?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Okay.
Just
all right.
Maybe. I'm thinking about it. But DC had the license for this. They did 3 issues, and then Marvel picked up the license and did like 13 issues. But it was part of their Star line. And I have issue number 1 of that series. It's got a rip in the cover, but I may still grade it just because it's a pretty awesome looking cover. But this is just gorgeous. Love it. All right. Next one.
Wait, he says explain why.
Explain why what?
I don't know. You see something in it to make you want to do that?
No, not yet, but it just makes me want to maybe try. So the other one that I'm thinking about doing, I have a really good reason for it. So
well, I'll say this from my perspective. Like Andrew's been, he got that pressing. It's a pressing kit. It's not a pressing kit. It's a heat press. So he got a heat press. So he's been practicing how to steam the books and start to do restorations on the book. So you can sometimes bump them up in price. You're restoring the books. So why not test the ultimate test of proficiency is cracking open a book that's like a 6, a 7, an 8, whatever, a 9, whatever it is, and sending it in and seeing if it's at least the same grade, if not a better grade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, this one is Amazing Spider-Man number 198. It's a 7.5, which is actually a pretty good grade. It's not a key issue in any way, but it just has a gorgeous cover.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous cover, man.
Mysterio all over it. And I really like this one. This is one of the ones where if I can't sell it to who I think may want to buy it, I may keep it just for my own collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. MK says it would be a good chance to show and tell, like how to do the pressing and stuff.
Next one I got is Jessica Jones number 1. This is around the time of the Netflix show. They put out her own series. This is issue number 1, and it's a 9.8, which is a really good copy. Now, this may not be a popular book to some people, but there are fans of this character. And if I find the right fan, I can make my money back plus some. So, plus it's a gorgeous Dave Mack cover. Yeah. So it's a good one.
Yeah,
she had her own series before. It's just it was called Alias.
Alias. Yeah, that was when it was titled Jessica Jones and was focused on her.
And Alias was a good book, man. Alias That's a good series.
Yeah. Then, okay, so the guy, after I bought the 4, said, hey, if you want to pick up another one, I'll sell them to you, anyone you want for this amount. And I went, ooh, okay, let me see what else is there. And this one is the one I picked. It's Man-Thing number 1.
Yeah, that's
volume 2, so not volume 1, but it's a 9.2 grade. And one of the things that I noticed that was different about this is that the label was different and the case was a little bit thinner than the other ones. What the guy told me is that this was graded probably 15 years ago or more, back when they first started grading. So it's been graded and they've had it for a long time. And this is the one, I think, and he also said it was before people did pressing regularly. So there's a good chance this was never pressed. So if I crack this open, press it, and then resend it, there's a possibility I could get higher than a 9.2. There's also a possibility to come back at 7.5. But I might be willing to try it.
It might be worth it. So and Avery just wants it.
And Avery just wants to buy it from me. So
mine.
We'll see.
MK says Alias was Jessica Jones. Dope. So Alias, there was a Marvel comic series called Alias.
Take me off.
Yeah. There was a Marvel comic series called Alias, but that's not the TV show Alias.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
That was a completely different series.
Yeah.
It did confuse people because a lot of people when that Alias comic was around thought it was
the same time they thought it was
thought it was related to the Alias TV show, but it was actually Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Should I show some of the books I got here?
Sure, go ahead.
Let's see. All right, so let's do some stuff. I'm just gonna pull up. I got some stuff that I think is gonna make Avery freak out a little bit.
Oh,
by the way, Avery, I need the if you know them, the issue numbers of Heavy Metal that you did. There's a guy there that had at the convention that has like a whole run, like a whole bunch of them of Heavy Metals, and I know he had at least one of yours because I recognize the cover. So I'm dying. Like I know there's one issue of Heavy Metal that you did that I don't own, and I don't know the issue number. So if you know the issue number,
let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, there's like just send me the issue numbers. Like I know there's like 3 of them, right? So like 2. Okay, so yeah, send me the numbers, and I'm gonna see if we can get it. So what I did is I've been going back. Dusty, I don't know if Dusty knows Eric Larson. Zach, do you know who Eric Larson is?
Okay, one of them, Todd, is issue 239.
Oh well, hold on.
Eric Larson, he's the guy who created Savage Dragon, right?
Yeah. So hold on. Let me write this down. 239.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay.
If I find the other one.
It's like the second one I think I don't have, but so while you're doing that, Avery, so basically my hunt for this convention has been Eric Larson, Spider-Man. I want some of those early Savage Dragons because we were looking at them on Nerd Den a little while ago, and I was like, man, this is actually pretty cool. And then some Walter Simonson stuff. By the way, Avery, Alan Davis is at the convention. Jose Garcia Lopez is at the convention. Rick Leonardi's at the convention. Wow. Jeff Smith, whatever. But Jeff Smith's cool. You know, there's like it's awesome.
Yeah, he's been there before.
Yeah. So here I'm just gonna.
Which Avery, they're reusing the Heroes Con image from 1994 for this year. The one where Bone was on it.
Oh, wow.
The convention studio guys inviting Jeff Smith to come to the show.
Yeah.
So
for some reason they're reusing that.
And it's got like Jason Pearson did the what are they called? The little characters.
The rats.
The rat people.
Rat thing,
yeah.
whatever,
it's a 1994 Jason Pearson. That's a sketch, but it's awesome. All right. So check this out. Oh, I just put Andrew on. Oh no. Bad.
Jazz hands.
No jazz hands. So I'm just gonna go through these quick because I don't want to bore anybody. But we got Spider-Man, Eric Larson, number 20. Right. I love his Spider-Man run. I'm just gonna flip through these fast. Another Eric Larson. I got a bunch of Spider-Man. Right. Look how good that cover is. Isn't that cool? Great.
That was a great series.
It was
the return or whatever of the Sinister Six.
Yeah, here I'm just gonna pick up. I got a bunch of the early Savage Dragons. So these are all like issues 1 through 10 or 12 or something like that. Really, just because I didn't want to get the omnibus, and I got these were in the 50-cent bin, dude. So I'm like, yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I need. Early X-Men, Andy Kubert, right? Or the new series X-Men, right?
Oh, wow.
Right? Pretty cool. You know how it is. Like you start going through 50-cent bins, and all of a sudden you find everything that you don't need, and you just end up getting them, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just gonna go through these quick. Right, Will Spertasio, X-Men. I got kind of like a few of those in there, right? I believe this is like that early.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's like early Bishop.
Yep.
I got a bunch of Dennis Cowan stuff, dude.
Yeah, I have those. Yep.
Look at that cover. So sick.
Yeah, they're good.
It's creepy and weird. It's just great. a Lee Weeks Batman.
Oh, very cool.
More Savage Dragon. I got the early Savage Dragons. There you go. Put that away. 11 and 12 early Portasio.
Those are great.
Right?
I think I have one of those.
Yeah, they're so good. These are like, when I saw these, they blew my mind when I was like, when I was in high school, man. So good. Then I ended up getting like a whole bunch of Deathlock, dude. Like we basically found through a couple of different dealers the like actual like Cowan Deathlock series. So like check this out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have some of those, but not all of them. Nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. Like look at that.
Very cool.
Right. Sorry, there's a computer reflection.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see. We got it's good. I don't want to go through the whole stack. Gen X, Art Adams, right? Age of Apocalypse. You guys have seen that. I want to show that. I got a bunch of a couple of New Mutants. I'll show you. Oh, there we go.
Hey Todd, could you show the Gen X one again?
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah. You want to see the? I skipped the Gen X, but I'll show you the Gen X one.
Yeah, just hold it there. I want to. No, the other one. The one with Fairchild on it.
Oh, this one.
No, it was before that. It had like Caitlin Fairchild on the front.
Oh, the Art Adams one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm up. That takes me back.
Isn't that great?
It's beautiful. Sorry, I was a fan of Gen X back, Gen 13 back in the day.
Yeah, Gen 13 is phenomenal, man.
Yeah, it sucks that DC basically squatted the Wildstorm universe after they took it.
I know. We got that gorgeous. So that's that gorgeous Rick Leonardi magic. This is a character I just love. I'm gonna have to create a version of her for us.
That's what I miss about the '90s is that the artists back then they loved drawing women.
They love drawing. Period.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is a Rick Leonardi New Mutants cover.
Nice.
Isn't that great? Yeah, MK. I totally agree, MK. Like, just so good. Like, the art is just top notch. I got a bunch of covers. Let's see, more Savage Dragon because it's all shuffled. We got the first J. Lee Namor.
Nice.
The whole run. They had the whole run, and it was a dollar bin run, and it was all like really like mint condition. And I almost got it, but I think I have them. So I have this problem where like I gravitate to the same books, and I don't remember what's in my collection because I haven't organized all of it yet. And so like I'd have a tendency to have like double, triple, quadruple of the exact same book.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know?
As long as you get them for a good deal, who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Go for it.
Yeah. You buy like they're all like $1, and then you end up spending like $50 on the issue because you have 50 copies. So I started getting I found some of the Walter Simonson Fantastic Fours.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, this is my favorite stuff, dude. I love this stuff. I love this stuff.
I'll pick up almost any Walter Simonson comic from that era that has Thor. If I find it in a dollar bin or a 50-cent bin, I don't care if I already have it. I'll usually pick it up again. I don't care.
Yeah, and it's hard to find because now his Fantastic Four and his Thor run stuff is starting to go into like the 3 and 5 and 10.
Yeah,
like it's not easy. It's not easy to find.
And they're going to be putting out an artist edition soon of the Fantastic Four.
I know, dude. I can't wait. That artist edition is going to be on my shelf, and it's Melissa. Hopefully, she can forgive me. So I found the first 2 early Joe Madureira X-Men issues.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? I really like those. They had the whole run in the 50-cent dollar bins, but I was like, like. I like the first couple issues he did, and obviously I was a fan when he did blow up, but I'm kind of past that shit. So I found this. This was $1, super beat up, right? I mean, it's got tape on the side, but this is like it's a Kirby, Joe Sinnott Kirby book, and so like, let me see a good page. Like, Like the inside's actually not bad.
Yeah, dude, it's still, you can read it and enjoy it. And
yeah,
look at the art.
I actually like books like this because I can toss them out on the coffee table or like, you know, I can just kind of lay them around. This is straight up like I'll keep these books like this on my drawing table, and then when I'm just bored or I'm, you know, like sipping some tea or something, I'll just like start flipping through it.
Yeah, they're great.
I'm not worried about it because it's not. There's no protecting it. Like, who cares if it gets ripped? Like, I don't care.
Exactly.
Another Wills X Factor.
Oh man, those are good.
Yeah, these are classic. He was so fucking good, dude. Deathlock. Look at that. Oh, sorry. So good. Namor, I got another Jay Lee here, but I got anything else that's any cool, anything crazy. Oh, yeah, this is I got a couple of interesting ones. This one I remember, but I don't remember. Like, have you ever seen this book, Alien Legion Grimrod?
No.
I collected Alien Legion, so I've seen it.
MK says, I have that one. Deathlock and Punisher. Finally. Dude, it's a good book. I think I got issues 1 to 6, 1 to 8, something like that. 1 to 9. Okay, yeah. So this is Chuck Dixon and Mike McMahon. Mike Mahon, sorry. McMahon. Yeah, Mike McMahon. But it's really kind of a minimal style. This is like the kind of thing, if you would in high school, in college even, I probably would not have been able to handle. I've been like, yeah, it's not for me, right? But I was looking at it and I was like, man, this is actually like pretty cool. I really love kind of the graphic layout. Oops, sorry. The graphic layout of the characters, right? And I don't know if they were rendered a little better or a little more realistic. I could totally see this being like just
I'll be right back.
Huh?
I said I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Let's check this out. Right? Isn't that awesome? Older, more sophisticated Todd. Well, yeah. Well, it's like the composition. This guy just does composition first, right? And it's definitely abstract, but like I really appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like
kind of almost like Mike Mignola from Hellboy.
That's what I mean. It's like it's a little like it's not Mike Mignola, but it kind of has some of that graphic design vibe to it. And you know, I think if it was again, if you started your design this way and like had it really solid and graphic, which is kind of what I do when I do panels, like, and then you start to render it out and get a little better. Like, I think it's like good educational material. Well, Avery's not back yet, so I'm going to save this one for him because I think he's going to dig it. Found an old issue of Nexus. So this is Zach. Do you know Steve Rude's work?
No, I do not.
Oh man, so Steve Rude is a genius. I'll show you the inside. Look at this. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, when did that come out?
90s.
Really.
He's got an old school style.
Yeah, you know, back then I was basically DC or nothing, or then Image, and then Image.
Yeah, he's an illustrator's illustrator. I'm trying to see if I can find like a good action shot in this issue. Probably not, but like he and this guy Mike Barron, the writer, they did by them. How many issues was Nexus, Andrew?
Well, it went through several different series, so there were a lot.
Like hundreds, right? I would say over 100.
Yeah, over 100.
I mean, this is issue 58, and this is First Comics. So this was 1989, right? It's gorgeous, man. So they cranked out like independently just a shit ton of their own books. And the artwork is top notch. It's one of the classics in independent publishing because the degree of art ability that Steve Rude has is so high. And he went on, he did a whole bunch of stuff. Like he ended up doing a bunch of stuff with like Batman and Superman, and he's done tons of superhero comics. Hey, what's up, A? You back?
Yeah.
Cool. So then I found this.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kelly Jones is awesome.
Yeah, this is Kelly Jones, Dead Man, book 1, 50 cents, book 1. This is like, I don't know how many pages it is, but it's not small, And it's Mike Barron. Oh, did it die? Oh, that computer's on its last leg. Andrew just got bounced. I'm gonna have to hook him up for a second. See, that's been charging. Anyway. That's a piece of shit. Let's see, what else do I got? I got a bunch of X Factors. I'll show you I'll show you a couple of X Factors and then we'll call it and then we'll shift. But all right. 50 cents, that's crazy. They can still do those bins. Yeah, they got to move product, man. So X Factor, this is all Walter Simonson stuff, right? Like, just look at the way. I'll show you one cover here. Check this out. Big haul. This cover is just crazy.
That takes me back.
Isn't that wicked? Look at Storm. So powerful, man.
Yeah, who was the writer on that?
Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno. Avery's thing. This was I don't know who wrote it. Do you remember who wrote it, Andrew?
Wrote what?
Inferno.
Claremont and Louis Simons.
What I recall is that at one point, if there was an X in it, Claremont insisted that he write it because he was just so attached to the characters.
Yeah, but X Factor became Walton Weezy.
Here, I'll take myself off it while I set up Andrew again. Here.
Yeah.
He. Don't worry, Andrew's still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
So Avery, how are you doing, man?
I'm good.
What have you been like? I know you were talking earlier about Ollie's.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, yeah. that was at the beginning and that we weren't streaming. I went to Ollie's
I'm
today.
tossing the ball to you as I try to set up my computer.
I'm trying to find that other issue I did a heavy metal back then. It was some kind of special, and I can't find it. I think it had a Louis Royo cover. Sometime between 2007 and 2009, I believe. Because the other issue was in 2008. I went to Ollie's and I'm looking around. They only have a couple of new things on the shelf from comics, and one of them is The Killing Joke. So I call Todd, to ask who doesn't have it, and I end up buying like 4 copies of The Killing Joke for $3.99 each. And a John Polion book, Batman book. That's pretty good. Oh shit!
No.
Oh,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh god. Oh god.
Let's just do this, and you guys get it together and come back when you're ready.
Oh, I've been kicked from my own show.
Hey, can I guys ask you a couple things? Comic book related.
I want to know that Todd invited me to come sit next to him.
First of all, have any of you guys ever seen Walt Simonson's Star Slammers?
Yes.
I have some of the ones he did at Bravura, but I don't have the original.
What's it about? Because I can't find a plot description anywhere.
It was originally one of those Marvel graphic novels. You know, like the New Mutants, the Marvel graphic novels. Star Slammers was originally one of the Marvel graphic novels. And then he brought it over to Malibu, who did the Bravura line. There was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 issues of that. And then he brought it over to IDW, I think. Either IDW or Boom. Or maybe, it could have been Dynamite. But there's lots of issues of it out there. And I've honestly never read a single one. I flipped through them and enjoyed the art, but I've never actually sat down and read them, even when I was collecting the Bravura series, which is kind of crazy, but yeah.
All right, and second question. Actually, this is for you, Todd. Man,
Okay.
Also Avery. So back in the day, was there any sense of competition at the artist level between people working for Marvel and those for DC, or was it, by that point was it like, we work whoever pays us?
No, it was hard. Competition was hardcore, man. So they were hardcore competitors.
So if you were a guy who was working for DC and you went over to Marvel, would they give you the cold shoulder, or wasn't like that?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it really just depended on the situation and who it was. Like, if DC stole a hot artist from Marvel, they would celebrate it. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And then, like, one of the things I thought was really smart that I didn't really think about or realize until later is that a lot of the rock star young guys in the 90s, what they realized early on is that they would turn down books, even if it was like X-Men, they would turn it down if they were offered the job after like a legendary run, right? Like, and so they were like, well, we'd rather have a shitty character in a shitty book and knock that out of the park with a home run than try to be a follow-up act to a great legendary artist or a great run or something like that. Which really makes sense.
So it'd be like the people who follow the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't 100%. And in comics, it's kind of like at rock shows. Like in comics, it's kind of the opposite, where the guy that follows up a legendary artist or a legendary run is kind of like the opening act. And what's crazy is it doesn't matter how good you are. Like this is like Eric Larson, who Savage Dragon, Image guy, made a lot of money, did really well, was pretty hot. Like he always followed Todd McFarlane on the runs, and so because of that, he never got as big as McFarlane because McFarlane was the king. So you had this guy who was like knocking at home runs every day out of the park with Amazing Spider-Man and then Spider-Man. And then when he left the book, Eric Larson took over because he kind of had a similar feel to his work. And it was still good. He got a shit ton of attention, which helped him do
He also got shit on a lot.
But he never reached like that #1 spot. Whereas Rob Liefeld, like he got offered on X-Men, I think after Jim Lee or something. Like there was, I don't know if it was, or after, yeah, it was something like that. Like he got offered like fill-in issues or something with Jim Lee. And he was like, hell no. Like, no way. Like, like never. So he would always, like when he was in DC, he would always take the shitty books to get in to kind of build up his cred. And then that's why he wanted to do New Mutants. Like specifically, he was like, well, New Mutants was kind of a cool book, but it had crappy sales. And so he knew that he could come in, and if you made the sales better, like that would lift his star would rise. And so that's what he did, right? And that's when it spun off into X-Force and everything else, because he wanted his own title, right? Like Jim Lee had X-Men, Todd had Spider-Man. He wanted X-Force, which is what he made up. So, yeah.
Todd McFarlane, Todd Wanish.
We're the same person.
Yeah.
Really?
I can see the difference.
Yeah, same person, same life, really. I mean, it's nice.
Swimming in his $100 swimming pool, the one that's filled with $100
bills. Yeah, we do that. We know.
Yeah, but that's interesting though, because so in comics, it's like you don't want to be the follow-on act to a legend because you'll never measure up. And
right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're gonna get shit on.
Right. It's like that too with like TV shows, right? Like you might want to be the show beforehand because as people come to see the highlight show, the primetime show, you can suck some of the audience, right? So like if you're on at 7:30 and primetime is 8 o'clock, you're going to get a lot of that audience, not because they care about what you have to say, but because they're waiting for the 8 o'clock.
Well,
right?
I think it's also the other way around. Like networks will always put their new shows after their hits because
the audience stays.
Yes, the audience is going to be there,
and
that's kind of the same thing. But it's like it's not a new show; it's the same book. It's just a different artist, and so
But if they had recast Joey in the middle of Friends, you don't want to be that dude,
right?
You don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be Joey.
Or from a music standpoint, you don't want to be Gary Sharon.
Yeah.
And
I have no idea what that is.
All right, so basically, he was the guy who replaced Sammy Hagar in Van Halen.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, you don't want to be Buckethead trying to replace Slash.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Or the guy Queen brought in to replace Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that job.
Remember?
Who are all these bands? I think they're before my time.
What? You never heard of Van Halen? Seriously? Or you just?
He's just fucking with you.
Not just.
Hey Todd, I found that other issue.
Oh, what issue is it?
It is the Spring 2011 Living Dead special.
Oh Jesus!
I can show you the covers to both these books.
All right, for Spring 2011 Living Dead
special. It's not a regular issue.
That's why I had trouble finding it.
Yeah.
So Avery. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I didn't interrupt.
Right. And issue 239 in 2008. Okay. November 2008.
Got it.
I think that's the one we've seen.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And that's the one I had and sold to a Kodiak. Kodiak has my copy.
I want you to listen to what your friend just said.
I know.
Todd. I sold one of those cool-ass books that you worked on to another cool-ass friend of ours.
Todd, we did an auction stream one time where he won one of my drawings in the auction. I never charged him. I gave him the drawing.
That's very sweet of you.
Yeah. You know what that son of a bitch did? He put it in the store and sold it.
Somebody really liked it. It went to a good home.
That's the reason he'll never get another piece of original art from me.
So
not without.
Well, he has to pay for it.
Yeah, not without paying through the nose.
So,
yes.
So that competitive, that attitude, is that still the case nowadays, or is the industry so changed now that?
No. Well,
now they just send each other night letters.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They don't. There's not a competition in this. In my take, anyway, is it? It's different because there's competition, but it's kind of like there's this fake we're all in this together nonsense, which is not true, right? They would. I mean, they're not. It's changed. You know what it is now? Crabs in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, there's a crab trying to crawl out. Like the other crabs, like bring them back down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've noticed that. With a lot of horror artists nowadays, they'll make their name on a run in one of the big two, and then they immediately go off and do their own thing if they can, and maybe they come back, maybe they don't. I think the one example I remember is Babs Tarr for Batgirl.
Sure.
She was the artist for the original Batgirl Burnside, series.
Yeah.
Which was one of my favorite Batgirl runs. Mm-hmm. But she was only on for about 6 or 8 issues.
Yeah.
And then she ran off and basically did her own comic, and they had to replace the artist.
Yeah.
So
but look what the crabs in the bucket did to her when she started getting big.
Oh yeah, everybody started
trying her down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like the real rock stars, they're honestly, like, most of those guys are now making their living like through commissions. I mean, some of them are making more on commissions than drawing an entire book, right? So commissions are a big deal. And a lot of them just left. Like, a lot of them are just doing they'll do a book here or there, but they're doing either film or video games or something else, or their own books. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I heard that actually that what happened was with the writers, at least with Marvel, like the original idea with the MCU was that they would keep the book the comic book line on as basically to be like kind of like an idea farm for movies. But then they realized that it was just easier just to hire the actual writers and artists themselves.
Yeah.
So they all went off to do the movies, and
a lot of them did. Yeah, I mean, well, and it's like, a lot of them, it's all messed up because then also a lot of them still want to do work and they can't get work because they're priced too high and the market's changed and the page rates aren't what they used to be. You know what I mean? Like it's all messed up now. So I think the competition now, that same vibe is in the independent comics, like the stuff that we're doing, the stuff that we're building, the stuff that some of these other guys are building. Like that's where the talent is, and so there's like a strong hustle, and so it's interesting because there's a combination of like wanting to help other people because you want the ecosystem to grow, but when someone puts out a book that's super good, you're like, God damn, that's so good. It's friendly competition, right? It's not like it's through that guy. It's like, oh my God, I gotta lift my game up because that guy did a great job.
Yeah, the attitude is still sharpening steel.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Well, I mean, look, I haven't bought a comic from any of the big two, and like not used, not digital, not on. I think the last one I bought was in 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
I sold all of those to our friend back there.
Yeah, you sold them to him. Yeah.
I think it was like what, $50. Was there
good stuff in there?
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there.
Like what?
A bunch of Conans, Savage Sword Conans, a lot of New 52 stuff. There was a copy of there was a signed copy of the of the boys, but
cool.
but the authentication was lost. I don't know how much that was worth.
That was one of the trades. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only new comics I buy are independent books crowdfunding. I don't go buy new Marvel or DC or Image or any of that stuff. I buy small people that are crowdfunding.
But honestly, man, like just today, going through those 50-cent bins and the $1 bins and the $5 bin, like just today, when you look at the comics, they're so good. Like just. I don't go to the comic shop anymore, which is crazy to say, but one of the reasons I don't is because it's like not the books are obviously not as good, right? Like check this out. I was looking at this the other day. So this is actually really cool. You guys will get a kick out of this. So this is a site called Mike's Amazing World. Yeah, here, let me see. So this is Mike's Amazing World. Now, like, look at, so this is September. So what's cool about this is you can see exactly what was on sale in whatever month during whatever year. So you can actually see what was on the stands like, in a specific month. So this month, September of 1987, I zeroed it in. This was, for me, the first comic I ever bought was in this month. So this is what was out on the stands when I went to buy my first comic book, right? And my first comic was Phantom Stranger, which is down here. Look how many books are out. Look at this. Phantom Stranger. This is my very first book, like right here.
Oh, that Mike Mignola cover?
Yeah. That was the very first comic I ever bought. And that he screwed me. Like, your first book is a Mike Mignola book. Are you kidding me? Like, you're kind of done. But just look at the style. Just, you don't even have to be able to see the books. Like, look at the style of the variety of color and design and style.
Oh, look at the Bill Sienkiewicz shadow cover.
Right? Yeah, 100%, man.
Look at the actual real variety.
Right.
Of material that was being published.
And just to show you, because this was right before there was a talent jump, watch this. So there's your Uncanny X-Men, like right there. Like, and this was like the summer, like kind of in the end of summer. So you had 2 books a month. Remember that? Like, like 2 books a month.
And Watchmen was already in trade paperback.
That's right. But check this out. That was the first trade paperback. Because this was 87, right? And it came out in 86. So check this out. Let's go to June. Let's go to June, and I don't know what is. I'm just picking a number, but I'm going to go 1 year past. So the following summer, right? Like all of a sudden, look at this.
Yeah, the Marvel version of Akira, the color.
That's right. The Marvel. Look at them. Look, McFarlane on Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep.
Right.
Brian Boland Animal Man cover.
Like Batman Year One trade paperback. I have this. I bought this when it came out, and I still have it.
I have it, but it's not that edition. It's that cover.
This was my intro to Batman, dude. Like, because I was never into Batman. I remember, like, I got Batman Year One and Batman the Cult.
Dude,
like, you know,
dude, Cerebus. I mean, that guy turned out to be a scumbag, but the book was a.
It was incredible, man.
Concrete.
What's the story behind Cerebus?
He's a creep.
He was a little bit of a creepy dude. Yeah. But look at this. You got Concrete.
Excalibur #1.
Excalibur. Daredevil. This Daredevil is John Romita Jr., I believe.
Yep.
Right. But just again, even if you don't know the artist or the titles, like just look at the difference, like just the logos. You know what I mean? Like look at the effort and individuality on each and every book. Like every book has a style, color scheme,
and look at how many small independent publishers were actually you actually noticed they existed.
Right?
Grendel.
Yep.
From Comico, long before Dark Horse was a thing.
And early American Flag. American Flag.
Yeah, dude, Howard Chaykin. Yep. Airboy was around then too.
Yeah, man. Like
Lone Wolf and Cub.
Right?
Yeah.
And I bought that in Might as well. The Psychic Girl.
We had manga back then too, dude. There was no such thing as weebs back then.
Yeah.
The only people that knew about manga were hardcore comic nerds and military brats.
Look at it. There's that Punisher that I just bought for 50 cents.
Or guys like me who are half Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why are you half Japanese?
My mother's from Tokyo.
And how did your father meet her?
He met her in New York City in the 70s.
Okay.
The short version, my mom left Japan in
gotcha. Okay.
60s for college and never went back.
Typically, it's the guy was in the military, but
no.
The exception. Your dad's the exception.
No, my dad was in Vietnam, but he was in the Navy and he got out after 2 years.
Yeah.
And he was working in the city at the time, and she was here for like 40 years. And she never became an American citizen. She's back in Japan now. And well, anyway, I don't want to distract you. So wow, yeah, look at the X-Men. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
dude, X-Men was so good. Rick Leonardi fill-in issues.
Yeah, man. And
Mark Silvestri is the regular artist.
And this Terminator was like, I bought that. I remember buying that. I remember buying this. The number 3? Yes,
I have it too.
Like, I bought all this shit, man. I was as much as I could carry at this point.
X-Terminators. I had to buy those back issues, but I had
Terminators.
I have all those X books. I have them all.
Isn't it great? And then let's just flash. Let's pick. When did Image start? 92, right? Let's just say. Do you remember what month?
No.
Let's say September. I don't know. Let's all publish. So, again, you're 4 years later, but look at all the design and the just all the interesting stuff that's happening on the pages, right? Oh man, you got that Mike Mignola RoboCop. There's that Deathlock I just bought. Not this issue, but basically that series. Oh, the Dark Stars, the Travis Charest. Oh, Fantastic Four! Look at this stuff. I remember all this stuff. But you don't get that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'll show you just to compare. Oh, there's Lobo's back, bro. Lobo's back 3 and 4.
Oh yeah, about that. When stream's over, I need to talk to you about something.
Yeah. Oh shit, there's the Jay Lee Namors. Let's see what else. Is there anything else? The Punisher Warzone, John Romita Jr. Those were great. Those were excellent.
R.I.P. Punisher.
Yep. Oh, it's 2099. That was a great book. If you've never seen that book, Spider-Man 2099 is fantastic. So maybe this is before Image. No, because there's what a Wizard with Wetworks on it.
Oh yeah.
But maybe this came out before. Didn't this come out before? Was it Wetworks? Like, didn't they show this cover before the book came out or something?
I think so.
So maybe it was like, I'm going to see if we can find the
sometime in what was the first Image book to hit the shelf?
Youngblood.
Was it?
Yeah, I could look it up, but I'm just
all the
going
way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Youngblood's in
Yeah. X-Force. So he's off of X-Force at this point. WXY. No. I could look. Let's see when Youngblood came out. And then actually, before we do that, I'll show. Let's go to 2023. And let's go to June. So what, like May? So you've seen all this design, right? I just want to show you this comparison. All this design from the 80s and 90s. There you go. Modern comics. It's all the same. There's nothing there.
And some of them are even copying the older issues. Look, there's 2 different Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's just variant covers. Just variant covers.
No, like go up. There's go up. There's 2 different versions of a copy of a classic Spider-Man cover. Like, there's nothing wrong with an homage, but there's 2 of them. See that right there? Then go down. Right there.
Yeah. But like, do you see how the design is gone?
Mm-hmm.
They're so terrible compared to the other ones.
Dude, and that Batman's an homage.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's a homage. Yeah. So Dusty, you see that, right?
Yeah,
like,
the other ones are way better.
Do you see how, like, look at this? These are all different books, and they all look the same.
Yeah, it feels like the same thing.
Captain America, Carnage, Catwoman. You can't tell them apart.
MK said it's like looking at a bad NFT PFP project.
Like, look at this. It's really awful. And it's just, there's no, I don't know what to call it, like, without sounding like someone trying to do a bad design project. Like, there's no pop, but like, there's just no vibe to it. Like, look at this. It's just pinups, pin up. Like, there's nothing there. Right? Like, look at
all
this.
Those group covers are sad.
Yeah. It's all the same. There's nothing that pops or stands out at all. And just to drill it home, I'm just gonna throw a random. Let's pick a year.
That all looks. Yeah. How about 1990? How about 1993?
Oh, 85.
Okay, so 85, and we'll do 93. Like, right. Look, all of a sudden, it's
bam.
Every single, because these guys understood it was part of the idea of the cover, and the art inside was you had to stand off on the shelf.
And
you know what I mean? Your book had to look different from everything else.
And their logos are catching your eye. Epic,
everything,
Ewoks,
everything,
Oozle, Fraggle Rock.
Everything. Every book looks completely different.
Go down and see what was issue of Power Pack was that month.
Power Pack?
Power Pack and Transformers, because that would have been
wrong.
Power Pack 14?
Nope, it would have been before that.
Oh, when you're
number 1. So,
when you were coming in?
Yeah.
Ooh, Solomon Kane.
So 14 was in June of 85. It would have been
84?
84.
We can find out.
April of 84.
Well, you can do this. Like, if I go Power Pack and I go here, Power Pack number 1. Oh, whatever. Power Pack. Number 1, and then search. Power Pack number 1, August of 84. Okay. So if we do August of 84, there you go.
Scroll down to Transformers, because I picked up Transformers number 2.
So this was,
and then I went back and found Power Pack number 1.
Again, look at this. Like, look how clean.
Oh, look at that Bill Sienkiewicz New Mutants. That's from the Demon Bear saga.
Yeah. Look how everything stands out, dude.
George Perez Titans.
Look how good the design was for this thing. Are you kidding me?
They Walter Simonson Thor.
Yeah, that's a great book.
If I walked into the comic shop today and saw this many books that looked that covers popped like that, like they'd get some money out of me.
That Vanity number 2, I actually have that issue at home.
This one right here?
Yeah.
That's funny. What X-Men issue is that?
All right. Well, because it just seems to me that like a lot of the covers nowadays, they look like they've been done by they're done in Mid-Journey actually.
They look terrible. What was yours, Zach? 1993?
Yeah, 93. That's when I started getting into comics.
What month? Pick a month.
Shit. Well, when did Image split with Marvel? I mean, when did that first really start?
That was 92, but I think towards the end of 92.
All right, so let's say January 93. I mean, I went to high school in New Hampshire, so by that time of year there was so much snow on the ground. It was so cold outside that.
So then this is basically what you would have seen.
Yeah. Oh, they reprinted Action Comics number 1. Bad Girls, I remember that.
Dude, Shadow the Bat, Sword of Azrael, dude.
Sword of Azrael.
It's
Black Canary. Well, there's one thing you can say is that Archie Comics never changes. I mean, you look at one today, look at one yesterday. It's the same stuff. The art style never changes.
Yeah.
And Caravan Kid, that's but that's when you started to see influences from anime and manga sneaking in. Oh,
was that Dead Man?
Yeah. Oh, the Death of Superman. I remember that one. Yeah, I remember going down to so I went to high school in this dinky little town called Tilton in New Hampshire. Of course, and I remember that Elemental Sexy Lingerie, and the Death of Superman was like the big comic book event back then. Even where I was, this little town in the middle of nowhere, we heard about it. So I went in there one day, and they had like the top row of one of the shelves, nothing but Death of Superman. So I bought like a regular paper copy just to read, and I remember getting like one of the they had this version of it, be able to have one of those like holographic covers on it, pasted on the front. I got that as well. Yeah, that was a big thing back then. Yeah.
That Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, MK. They used to do a lot of adaptions of Clive Barker stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now used to have a whole line where they went through and they did these like fully painted books, one series right after the other of like the Vampire Lestat and all that stuff from Anne Rice.
There's that Pit number 1.
Dude. Oh, whoa, dude, tomorrow the Indiegogo goes live for the Pit Omnibus.
Yeah, no, that's going to be great.
Awesome.
Dracula, that looks nice.
These were great books.
Yeah.
And just to drill it home one more time, like, again, look, I still, like, hey, look, there's that X-Men book I just bought.
Yep.
Like, I mean, you can't look. I mean, you can scroll through just color and design, and then if you go to like this year and you just put in any month.
Dude, look at those covers they used to do for the Aliens books.
Yeah,
Compare a modern Aliens cover to the older series, dude.
Like, look how bad this is.
It's all mid.
It's all mid, and it's all posters, and it's all the same color palette. Nothing stands off. They've lost their ability to understand design when it comes to newsstand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trade dress is weak.
Yeah, everything's weak.
Like, look, that one book had the trade dress at the bottom for the logo.
Or this one, Carmilla? Yeah.
No. It was another one. It was a DC comic.
Oh, this one. That's Captain America's on the bottom. It's like, and look, the ones that pop, look at those Conan. Those are omnibuses.
Yeah. Those look rad. The Creep Show. That looks rad.
Creep Show pops. Yeah. Crisis. All the old books.
Daredevil trade dress pops.
Yeah, Daredevil pops. Like, all the old school shit pops.
But that is an old school trade dress.
Yeah.
That Daredevil going like that.
Yeah. There's nothing there, dude. This is why I can't buy these books. They're terrible.
Look at that. Go back up and look at that freaking Deadpool, man. Look at that. How sad that is. But when the Deadpool's in the middle of the cover.
He's in the middle of all the covers.
No, the logo.
Yeah,
I can't even see it.
Right side second from the top.
Right side towards the corner.
Right. Oh, this right here.
Yeah.
Look, see.
I can't even see it though. They're all the same color. Anyway,
they got a cash cow like that, and they fuck it all up.
I know. Well, this is why I wanted to show you guys this, because I noticed it, because I hopped on the site to be like, man, I wonder what came out the first month that I was buying comics. I was like, oh my god, this is wicked. Yeah, I remember all this. And then I just went to see what was on the newsstand like last month, and I was shocked at how dramatically different the covers are and what they're selling. Like, this is what they're selling.
That list is going and
going. And this is all variants. It's just variants. Going and going and going. There's like a fraction of the books, but like 30 covers for each. You know what I mean? Like, just terrible. Nemesis. Like, anyway, I thought it was fascinating. How it's changed, and yet this generation is the one that looks like down on the past generation, like they're better or something. Like,
and even all of these with the variants, all the variants look the same. Like, I don't understand. There's nothing different about them.
I know.
They all look the same, right? And this is one of the things that's really hard to bring people in, new people in, because they come in and they see this and they're like, this isn't for me. You know what I mean? There's a reason why comics grew in the 80s and 90s, right? I mean, granted, you can always say like right time period or whatever, but comics have been huge for like 50 years. You know what I mean? But there's nothing here. Like, there is nothing about these covers that tells me anything about what's going on inside the book. Hey, Dusty, what happens in Secret Invasion #1?
There's a guy with an eye patch.
Right. Like, there's no clue. Yet, if I go again, just some basic shit. If I go to random year, January random year, I mean, I could go all the way back, but let's just pick a year. Dusty, pick a year.
1986.
1986.
He wasn't even born then.
Pick a month.
May.
Oh shit! You might get Watchmen. All right, look at this. So back, of course, we're gonna have better stuff, but like, and I know it's small on your screen, so I'll just blow this up a little bit. Like, you can tell, you at least have an idea of some of the things that are happening in the book.
Yep.
This character's fighting this character.
Yeah.
You know, these characters are gonna meet in the book, right? Oh. And that's really all it has to be, right? But still. Who appears in the book? Like, okay, great.
G.I. Joe, Elric, fantastic. God.
Yeah.
Flaming Carrot, even.
I'd take Flaming Carrot.
Yeah, I'd take Flaming Carrot over some of the stupid shit that's out today.
I know. Fish Police. Well, again, you can.
Hey, look, there's that Masters of the Universe #1 from Marvel.
Oh yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, for part of the Star Line. Damn. Nice.
Man, just saying, man. Like you instantly know. You have a better idea. Like, the covers are interesting enough for you to pick it off the bookshelf and flip through it.
I would rather read Muppet Babies from Star than some of the shit that's out today. I love that New Mutants cover. I have that cover. Art Adams cover right there, boy.
Yep.
Ooh, early Nexus. Oh, that's
Nexus.
a sexy book. That's a sexy comic.
Yeah, dude. I showed Nexus. I picked up a Nexus, like Nexus 50 or something.
Oh, dude.
Look at that Punisher.
Yep.
Again, look, Spider-Man.
Spider-Ham.
Even if you don't know what's going, you kind of know what's going in the book. There's a curiosity, like he's running up the wall. It shows his powers, like he can climb. Oh, he's a spider. He can climb up walls.
There's commotion on the street. What's going on?
Yeah, he's on a skyscraper. Like, it's interesting. It's visually interesting.
Solomon Kane and Conan on the shelf.
Sectors,
yeah. Oh shit. Barry Windsor Smith.
Oh, no. Oh, Thor. Look at that.
Yeah.
First appearance of Miss Marvel in the Thing. That version of Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tales of
the Vision and Scarlet Witch comic they should have based the TV show on.
Yeah, for sure. V. Did you guys ever see V?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they did a reboot a few years ago. It didn't really work.
Yeah, Dust, did you ever see V?
The movie?
There was a TV show.
Oh, not the TV show.
It was a mini series.
Yeah.
I think they did have a TV show after the miniseries.
They did. It like lasted a season. That's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, MK said 87. MK, when was MK? If you're able to remember, what was do you know your year, month, your first comic year, month? Not, no worries. But yeah, I just found this fascinating because I mean, again, look even small. Every single book looks different, you know. And I think it's an art form that, you know, needs to come back.
The trade dress matters. Like even small, you can read most of these titles what they are.
Yeah.
The color palettes stand out from each other.
That's right.
The trade dress stands out from each other.
That's right. That's the way to do it, man. It's gotta be clear. I mean, again, even if I hold up, that's why if I hold up anything from that era.
Yeah,
it's just graphic design, man. It just pops, you know. They knew how to do it. Andrew's pulling out his books now.
No, I'm pulling out my books. I'm putting my books away.
Yeah, MK says that site is incredible. Giving a crap about the art and story would be a good start. Yeah, tell me about it. It's really amazing when you see it. I'll post the and then check it out. I'm always down to promote really cool sites. Like this is a great service. Let me see if I can get it without all the extra stuff. I'll put this in chat. It's fun. It's a really great way to actually find, like, it's a really good way to search too, because you're always I always wonder what came out the same month. So yeah, I really dig it. But yeah, man, it's cool. Andrew's great. Andrew's dropping shit all over the place.
I can't remember the first month I ever bought a comic. I can remember. I bought comics occasionally. I didn't start going to a comic shop until like issue 240 of X-Men. That's when I got really into it.
Yeah.
I think the first comic I ever read, I was like 8 or 9 years old. It was a Superman. What I can really remember was actually like a collected version of like a mid 80s X-Men, and I know that because Psylocke back in the day was still wearing her old costume with the hood and, you know, like the pink jumpsuit, and not like the black spandex from later. You know, it was before she became Asian.
Yeah, I think what got me about the Phantom Stranger #3 was, and I have them. I have all 4 issues, of course, because I just fell in love with it because that's what got me into comics. But like, yeah, the cover features Ronald Reagan shooting up the Phantom Stranger, a superhero I never heard of, shooting him up with a Tommy gun. And I was like, and Ronald Reagan was the president, obviously, at the time. And I was like, wait, the president is shooting a guy with a Tommy gun? You have my interest. I was like, what is that about? Yeah. And then, of course, you crack it open, and it's Mike Mignola, who's just, you know, the guy who ended up, he would go on to create Hellboy. And I was like, okay, I'm in. Like this, whatever this is weird and it's great and it's really cool. And I didn't understand it, but it was really cool and interesting. It's the way to do it, man. Yeah, I agree. I agree with MK. Giving a shit about the art and story for a start. I genuinely, it really does baffle me. I genuinely don't understand why people don't seem to give a shit anymore. I really don't. I mean, a lot of people do. They're just not in the mainstream comics.
Yeah. All the people that care, whether their book is actually good or not, even if it fails, it's like legitimate failure. They were trying.
Yeah.
And I respect legitimate failure.
Yeah, of course.
Well, let me ask you something. And this is going to sound terrible, but like comics, like a lot of industries, they've outsourced a lot of their art now to people working out in Asia and so on and so forth. And maybe the people who aren't necessarily fans, as opposed to these guys who were fans. Mm. So maybe just outsourcing it, to like foreign artists, for whom they're good, they're skilled, but to them it's just another art job, and they're gonna do the best they can with the most minimum amount of effort. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's something to do with it.
Maybe, yeah, that could certainly have something to do with it.
I mean, there are foreign-born artists who are really good. I mean, like Will Portacio, Jim Lee, all those, but those guys are fans,
right?
Whereas just some guy working out of a studio in Jakarta,
right? Well, I think that's it. But I also think, I would actually argue that those guys probably really care. And what I think is happening is you have a new generation of kids that came out of art school, and they don't really care. They care about indie books, or they didn't grow up on that stuff. They grew up on independent books or like different books that don't really flow the same way, right? And a lot of them came out of manga and all that, and so when they brought it in, they tried to just bring it into mainstream comics, and they just can't do it. They don't have the skill for it, and they don't really care to learn. And that combined with the shrinking market and lower page rate means you're not going to get the same talent. And then MK says, wonder if it's because you're now fighting screen scroll and immediate gratification. I mean, that absolutely has a lot to do with it, like gaming and internet. But I think, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think NFTs and digital collecting is gonna be massive. It already is. It's already getting there, right? Because you can get that same fix digitally, and then you ship the book to them, or you get the digital copy or whatever. So I think NFTs might change that, but yeah, I think a lot of it, like a lot of it was the habit. A lot of people went every Wednesday for the habit of going somewhere on a Wednesday, like you go to the gym, and then between bad writing and bad artists, and then I actually still think the number one killer was social media. Like when people actually finally got the chance to like get to know their idols and get to know the people that they fell in love with, and realize that they had different views, or they would hate them as fans, like literally be like, well, if you believe this, I'm not going to like you. And they're like, but I've been buying your book for 25 years, right? Like that actually, you stop supporting because you're like, well, this guy doesn't like me.
Yeah, their bad behavior became public.
Right. I think
one group was allowed to do the bad behavior, and anybody of another group did the same thing.
They should have, in my honest opinion, and this is just my opinion, like I honestly think when that stuff started and the comic artists started kind of like not just talking about their opinions, but kind of going like really like on the attack, on the offensive against people they didn't like. If it would be me, I especially the fans, they should have been fired immediately. Because I mean, and honestly, like any company should have been like, you're fired. Like give them a warning. Like, look, you can't do that. We got books to sell. It's a company, and then fire them immediately. Because what ended up happening, and this happened to me, where I got to the point where I would go into a comic shop, and I'd be like, oh, this is a wicked book. I love this artist. Because again, we know our stuff. So I'd be like, holy shit, a new Ed McGuinness book. Oh, that's really cool. I'd pick it up, and I'm like, I don't even have to look. I'm buying the book. You know what I mean? But then I always open it up and I'm always flipping through the art and I would see, this, and I'm making this up here. I'm just kind of picking, as an expression to make a point. I'd be like, this writer said something and actually actually teed off on a friend of mine, or this guy actually helped ban an artist that I like. So I'm not going to buy the book because I'm not going to support that person. And now all of the other people on that book, the other 6, 7, 8 people that helped make the book, they're getting punished because I'm not going to support that one person. I really like this guy. This artist is amazing, but I ain't supporting that writer, because they're a piece of shit. And so I put the book back. And what happened is over the course of a couple years, it got so bad that it really got to the point where I was like, I can't buy a book anymore. Yeah, and so just as a sidebar, Dusty, are you punishing that cat, or is?
No, she has an avocado collar because she has a wound that she keeps tearing open.
Avocado collar.
Is it really an avocado? It's an avocado.
So the vet put her in a cone.
Wait, keep the cat there. Hold on, and hold on. We gotta do this.
They look so unhappy.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah. She's not down for this.
She looks like she loves it.
But yeah, the vet put her in a cone, and that's just a little bit softer and nicer than a cone, but does the same thing. So
that's an avocado collar.
Hey Todd.
Yeah.
So everything you were mentioning. This reminds me of something that happened a few years ago. So there was this writer. I don't remember who she is. She was a female writer for Marvel, and she had one of the one of the more important titles, and a lot of the fans were up in arms because she was basically unapologetically putting her politics into it, and so someone did a video interview with her where they kind of call her when they kind of asked her about it. She said in this very, very snide kind of contemptuous tone, "If you don't like my book, don't buy it." Yeah. And I'm thinking, lady, it's not your book. It's Marvel's book.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm thinking back in the day, if you did that, if you said that sort of thing to a publication where people could see you, your ass to be canned by the end of the day.
Yeah, there's actually a really funny super clip with that person where the clip starts with that. Right?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's a clip. So it starts with her saying that, and then there's a cut, and it's from a couple years later, and she's just like this, and she's like, it's bad, sales are down, nobody's moving books right now. It's really sad. I don't know what's gonna happen. It was really funny. I have to admit.
Yeah, she tanked her sales. I know what you're talking about.
She tanked her industry. She tanked it. Well, not her by herself, but that attitude.
Absolutely.
MK says when the next fad hits, likely moving to dumb phones and going offline, we might see some offline arts making a comeback. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think it's already every generation kind of goes against the generation before it, and the generation, the teenage generation now that I saw, at least in New York when I was leaving, they were super into Polaroid cameras, and they were actually buying the one of the hot things is actually the original iPod, because all it does is hold music, and it's only 10,000 songs, which is of course plenty. So they were starting to go back to the older tech as a collector item because it has some of that value where they don't get distracted.
Well, there was an interesting article I read. I think it was in it was in Standpoint magazine. They're not around anymore, but as far as the writing goes, what happened was, right around the early to mid 2000s. What a lot of these places started to do is because a lot of the older writers were retiring, or they were just too expensive, so they started hiring a lot of basically female young writers who had a YA background.
Yeah,
and that's the most politicized genre out there. So
yeah, it really is.
And so that's when you started getting a lot of these writers who really were basically they weren't comic people. They were basically MFAs, wannabe novelists. who just kind of ended up in comics because like by that point, like everyone and their grandmother was writing a like a heartfelt coming of age novel, and so they had to find another way. But I don't know. It's just yeah. I get where you're coming from, man. I mean, it's the writing.
I can't wait for the Whoopi Goldberg comic.
Oh, geez. No, Avery.
Oh, geez.
trying to keep my head from exploding with that. Okay, well, I got a question because we're coming up on time, but I want to ask Dusty a question, and then I have maybe Avery and Zach can maybe hook it up, and maybe Andrew, but he's falling asleep, which is fine. It was a long day. Dusty, have you ever so Avery mentioned The Killing Joke. Have you ever heard of that book? Do you know what that book is?
No.
Okay, so before we explain, how are you coming on your reading homework?
I'm still working on Dark Knight Returns. I'm getting close towards the end now.
Okay.
Awesome. What's your takeaway so far?
It's really good. It's really, really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wicked. All right. So Avery, do you want to briefly, without spoilers, explain Killing Joke? How would you explain Killing Joke?
Oh God, Killing Joke. It's
an Alan Moore story.
It's an Alan Moore story, and it really shows you what a bit psycho weirdo the Joker really can be and how cruel he is. Because he really goes out of his way. He's trying to break Batman and Jim Gordon, and he wants Batman to be just as bad as him and actually maybe cross the line and kill him. And it's how Barbara Gordon.
No spoilers. So MK says Dark F Joker. Yeah. Best storyline. Yeah,
and it gives you one of Joker's fake, maybe real, maybe imaginary
backgrounds.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It was very controversial even at the time because of some of the stuff that happened to what's its face in
person.
Yeah.
I'll say this. What I think is so cool about this, and interestingly enough, 1986 was like this weird magic year, where just most of the classics. There really is a weird thing, like a vortex occurred in comics in 1986, where Watchmen came out, Dark Knight Returns came out, like all these incredible books came out at this in 1 year. I don't know why. Hey, what's up, Carrots? It's back from my kid's grade 9 grad. Hey, congratulations. And have a great weekend. What's up, man? Congratulations. That's awesome. 9th grade. Wow. I'll see you in about 10 years. So with this book, there was something that happened around that time. And basically one of the things that shifted in 86 was that they started to say, well, what if these heroes were real, right? Like what would be some of the real things that they would have to go through? So you had alcoholism or adultery or the darker side of all the stuff that would happen. Right?
What we nowadays call deconstruction.
Yeah. And so what happened with Killing Joke is, even though it came a little later, but when did Killing Joke come out? It wasn't 86. Was it 80? It was around there, right?
Around then, yeah.
So, but basically, it was what happens if the Joker is real life, right? If you took the character that's in the comics, not a modification where you bring him into real world and he's wearing leather, or like the Joker movie was what would the Joker be like in real life? And it was a real life Joker. This is what if we took the comic character Joker, where it was super flamboyant comic book colors, but made it as dark as we could go, right? It's really good. And the art's phenomenal. The writing is phenomenal. It's just one of those books that's just killer. So
So, I mean, I'm personally a bit of two minds about that, because you know how comics are divided into different ages. You know, the Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, and so on. Golden Age was the original when it first came out in the 40s, in the 30s and 40s. Silver Age was like started with the Marvel Universe. Bronze Age was the 70s and early 80s, and like kind of like the late 80s onward. And there's some debate about that to this day. Is like it's called either the Dark Age or the Iron Age. Right. And a lot of those big books were part of that. And on one hand, yeah, they did provide an interesting approach to the characters, but on the other hand, I do think that it kind of invited in a lot of writers especially who just wanted to be dark and edgy for the sake of being dark and edgy.
Oh, for sure.
Well, it's like the Killing Joke is, and I also have a bit of a down on that because it totally fucked up it had kind of a negative effect on DC continuity that took them like 10 years to sort out with the character that was affected. But I don't know. I just think that a lot of that stuff they were in the hands of a good writer, and whatever you may think of Alan Moore, and he's definitely an eccentric, but he he's a good writer. He can tell a story, and he had an insight into the character of the Joker that was interesting, to put it mildly. Mm-hmm. But then like in the decade that followed, you end up with a lot of comics that are just it was just basically tits and ass and lots of blood and violence. And the idea was that you would take superheroes and you would ask yourself, okay, well, what would be the real world implications of someone with these powers? And that's interesting, but the problem is that when you take that approach, yeah, you end up kind of like taking away the whole conceit of suspension of disbelief. Like, this is a superhero. It's not meant to be real world. I mean, it couldn't. Right. This couldn't, by definition, could not happen in the real world.
Right.
And when you take that to the extreme, you basically get stuff like Garth Ennis.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Which is,
for sure.
Alan Moore and Frank Miller never meant for everything else to become like what they did. They just did their thing. And like, no, comic books are supposed to be what they are. They're not all supposed to be like this.
Well, then the thing about Moore is that he actually kind of clapped back against that, and with I think it was whatever happened to the Man of Steel or the Man of Tomorrow, where he actually, which is basically like a kind of like a mashup where essentially Bronze and Silver Age heroes go up against their dark and edgy '90s versions, and basically kick the crap out of them. And it was
MK says he's got to run for the night. He says, love that we ended on a high level geekery of this kind of debate. Perfect. Love you, man. MK, thank you so much, brother. Have a good weekend, okay? We're about to wrap up. Yeah, I know Andrew's actually off camera over here staring into the nether distance. He's literally just staring at some books that I have. I don't know what he's staring at. What are you staring at? He's just trying to keep his head still, he says. Okay. We should
just get him some insulin and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my opinion of it. I mean, I like Miller. I like Moore, but I just think that they kind of opened the door, and a lot of shit followed through them. And I know maybe they probably didn't intend it, but I think a lot of the problems that happened in comics afterwards in the '90s, especially. I mean, I love the art, but I just thought, looking back on it now, a lot of the stories and a lot of the stuff it wasn't just juvenile, it was just dumb. Yeah. It's like the problem today with Grimdark and Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, which is the name of the actual series, changed fantasy fiction forever. It made it darker and grittier, more realistic. But now everyone and his grandmother is writing that kind of story, and I'm sorry, most of them aren't George R. R. Martin. So you just throw in more sex and violence, and not that I object to sex and violence. It's just that after a while it's like, well, it's like if you go on TV tropes and look up Dark Age of comics, there's like a picture of a cover from that period, and it's like a Wolverine XP with a massive gun and lots of pouches like blasting away, and that kind of sums it up for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's it makes a lot of sense, man. I think that's I think you summed it up. I think that's pretty much how we all feel about it.
I look, as much as I'd like to blame the woke karate for fucking up comics over the last 15 years, the roots go back much further than that. I mean, just that, like kind of like that kind of nihilistic attitude that pervades a lot of pop culture was set in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in comics. And I think a lot of the shit we're seeing now is kind of the bastard offspring of that.
Zach, I got a question. Carrots has a good question for you. He said, other than the AF novel, are you writing other stuff right now? Didn't you just finish up like his magnum opus book?
Yeah, I did, and I'm actually doing a final edit right now. The idea I have for that, I don't know when it's gonna. I'm trying to get it up by July, but I have an idea for it that I'm gonna. I want to run by you, Todd, after once we're off, because I don't want anybody to steal it. But
sure.
No, but it's like the short version is that it's essentially a fantasy take on the Greco-Persian Wars of the 6th century BC, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, basically, I'm a history buff, all right, and so basically, fantasy Greeks fighting fantasy Persians.
How many pages was the book?
It's close to 900 at this point. It's probably going to be longer once I get the edit done. I mean, there's so many characters that I'm gonna have to add a glossary in the back.
I love it, man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's just a couple. I wanted to talk to you about that when we're offline.
Yeah, sure.
Run out by it.
No worries, man. I love it, man. Just give more pages. More pages. Right. But yeah, we got, and there's definitely more planned with Zach with AF2, of course. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it because I know, and I got to do it for Andrew because he's like slumped over. I think he's breathing. He's looking at me, so I think he's alive. But we got another day of the convention tomorrow morning, so we gotta get some sleep here, and we're beat up. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. We love you. Happy Friday. Happy Nerd Den. And we will see you soon. We'll see you next week.
Just a reminder.
Bye.
Father's Day. Andrew says, just a reminder, Father's Day is Sunday. So is that what you're trying to beg for?
Oh, and guys, Monday is Juneteenth, and I think it is a federal holiday now. So take it.
Awesome.
All right. I'm taking Monday off.
That's
bye.
Bye. All right. Bye, everybody. Love you all. See you next week. Peace out.